Now, you've probably heard the saying, education is the key to success. It is for this reason that businessman Patilizwe Mdoda, better known as to others as Uncle Pat, and other collaborators have built a new childhood development centre in the Eastern Cape. Mr. Mdoda joins me now in studio to tell us more about this wonderful initiative. I had hyphenated your name because it's a bit of a tongue twister, but thank you so much for your time, Uncle Pat. I'll just call you Uncle Pat like everybody else.
You're welcome. Thank you, and thank you to your viewers of ENCA.
Thank you so much for coming through. This is such a great initiative. It's always fantastic to hear when a school is being built, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to have an amazing impact on the community. Maybe just tell us about the school or the centre and why you decided to build it.
It's exciting times to us. We will be opening the school on the 18th of July, Mandela Day. This came to the family in terms of reflecting on our past. I grew up there. I did my standard 6 in a mud house, thatched Rondavelle, mud cleaning and in terms of cow dung. So when an opportunity arose, when I assessed the situation in terms of our education and the challenges that are facing our education, I realized that most of the challenges that face particularly the rural schools is lack of background education, lack of development at basic level. Hence, we decided that let's not look at the top where all the horses end. Let's go to the start and make sure that when they start at the same level, the rural and urban, which is why we said, let's go and build where we're coming from, a state-of-the-art facility, measuring to any in South Africa. Anything that my grandchildren can sort of access in Bryanston, they must be able to access those children there. It's an exciting time. I was given an opportunity by my principal, Standard 6, to go to higher education. I think it's important for the family to plow back and ensure that those gems that are there are unearthed.
Beautiful, beautiful initiative. And I'm so glad you speak about the importance of those in rural areas or far-flung areas to also have the same opportunity. You know, myself having grown up in a very small town, not so small anymore, in Emalahleni in Mpumalanga, we didn't have as equal opportunities, and we were always considered as the smaller town. And I can imagine what people in rural areas experience and go through. Tell us about the centre and you know, what it's going to focus on, what's in the centre, and why you decided to make sure that, for example, if there's a library, to have these facilities in this particular centre.
The first thing, the infrastructure in rural areas, as you indicated, is just not there. But we had to work around and ensure that we can harvest water in that facility. We can have flush toilets in that facility. We'll put electricity in that facility. And we are fortunate that we collaborated with Motas Group, who will kit the library for the young kids. They must start learning at early age. They must start being able to numeracy, which is a key thing that has been identified with our learners. All those areas we're looking at. We're going to have a library. We're going to have a computer lab so that they can start at early ages to manipulate those gadgets, and so that they don't get scared when they get to the level of using them. So we're going to have those, the PlayStations and everything that the young kids are taken as something that is ordinary in the urban setup. There it's new, but it stimulates their thinking. We're going to have 3 classrooms, basically, that will accommodate in total 80 learners. And we have everything, the kitchen, everything. It's fully kitted. The family has done everything to ensure that on day of opening, we just turn the key on. So
not too much PlayStation, though. There must be a balance.
There must be a balance, but they get bored. You must allow them that part of it. But the computers that are going to be there will be computers for them to learn.
Sure. I want to speak about expanding, though, because you're saying it's going to be about 80 learners for now. Are you looking to expand? Because speaking of the community and the area in which the centre is being built and it's going to open on the 18th of July. Is there a need for more?
There will definitely be a need for more, but we are located in a sort of junior secondary, where the kids that are coming out of there, they'll go to a junior secondary. But the area, if I can look at, we have vowed that no child will be excluded, which then says as we move and as we see the success of what we have started, we can expand. There's opportunity to expand and have more children coming in. So we are not going to close off for any child around there. We have even gone to chiefs and go to clinics and say they must give us the role of children that are born at a certain year, so that in 3 years we come knocking and say, where's your child? It's not at school. So that none of those children around there is excluded.
What happens in terms of school fees and funding, especially for the centre? Because obviously there needs to be money to maintain the school, the teachers and so forth, but also the parents looking and going, I would love to have my child there, but can I afford it? What about that?
Exactly. The important thing, that is a very poor area.
Yeah.
Yes, a few will be able to afford, but no child will be excluded because they do not have money. Yes, it's registered under government because it's under primary, but we are going to make serious input to ensure that the quality there is as we can find anywhere. We are collaborating with quite a number.
Absolutely. Everything that you hear. I mean, my niece, I tell her one thing, and in 5 years' time, she's turning 6 now, and I can't believe she still remembers what I told her when she was 2. So at that age, they're a sponge and they absorb everything. Just looking at the states also of education in the country at the moment, especially early childhood development, I'm sure there's even more pressure on you, especially in these communities, to really make sure that it's done right.
You correct the idea. One of the things that we have picked up in terms of the dropouts is lack of preparation at that level. And those dropouts now, I have the mines. There was something that was called Tebago. When you drop out to standard 5, you just go and list your name. Off you go, you are to the mines. There is no such now. Those people, they mill around there. Then the crime in the rural areas that you find now is those dropouts that we didn't look at. It's critical that at that level we capture all of them.
Certainly. So come the 18th of July, you're going to have a grand opening. I'm sure you're very excited about that. Just tell us a little bit more.
I am excited. The community is excited. They are slaughtering a beast. They are slaughtering a sheep and whatever. They're going to be a celebration day, and we want, in fact, I always tell them when in the preparatory meetings, my key stakeholders is those 3 to 6. That's the people that I'm concentrating on. I want them to enjoy. I know they won't pick it up, but we are going to capture the moment so that when they are at the later stage, they can look at it and say, it started here.
Are you going to save me some meat? Because you're saying you're slaughtering.
Come down, there will be for everybody.
Okay, just lastly, I want to speak about the fact that government is part of this. So, it is also a government initiative. How important was it for government to be part of this, especially in terms of funding?
It was important for me because in terms of funding, all the facility, the family has done that. But we needed to ensure that there will be teachers for the institution. They must be able to provide the teachers that we are going to take in and train. We have had quite serious cooperation from the district. Particularly, I can mention Dr. Malobola was super. Whatever time I call and say, I'm coming down, she will be there and said, I will make sure that this happens. I will make sure that this community benefits out of this initiative.
So how many educators, how many in total will be employed at the school?
There's quite a lot, because remember, some will be the cooks, some will look after their health, some then will be providing the content, some will sing them playing. At this stage, the structure is being sought out by the principal of the school. So all that we said, there must be no stone left untouched. we must make sure those kids benefit out of this facility.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for this great initiative. I'm going to speak to my editors so I can come get my meat.
Okay, you're welcome, Heidi.
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you, Uncle Pat. That was Uncle Pat, better known Pat Mdoda, speaking to us about an early childhood development centre that is going to be launched on the 18th of July in the Eastern Cape. Such a positive story. We always hear about these negative stories. It's great to see that there's going to be a great initiative to help these young ones in far-flung areas.